Well, hi there. Let's get going with episode. I want to say 4. 4 sounds right. Um, we last time, just to recap, as you can see, we're in Dodongo's cavern. Bit of a washout. I was rather excited because I had the Megaton hammer. I thought, okay, we can do stuff, but it yielded a very little. So I'm just going to have to face facts and admit that I'm going to have to do the race with Danpei. I don't want to do the race with Danpei. I hate the race with Danpei. I always get it wrong. I always mess it up. But there we are. It takes me a few tries. It's like the shooting game, which I may also have to swallow my pride and do. You put these things off because you think you can. But I don't think I can. So, how's everyone been? Good, I hope. What have I been up to since I last did an episode? Not a lot, a little bit more socialising, which is nice. I like that. After a fairly quiet weekend, got in, seeing some friends, had some lunch, nice. Alright, here we go. Oh good, and the music's all dramatic. Okay, right. I don't hit the flames. Just to warn everyone watching, you're probably going to see us 2 or 3 times because I'm just so bad at it, and when you have to do the repeat race, where you have to do it in under a minute, not a hope. I just walk into the flames, I get lost. I mean, it is just a disastrous area. Yeah. Oh, I did it. Okay, this is cool. That's cool. I mean, I wouldn't have done it in the time. You're not going to give me the hook shot though, are you? Life's not that kind. You're going to give me 5 blue rupees, maybe? Oh no. Oh, that's right, I can't leave because I don't have an ocarina. Now this could be a problem. I can't warp. I can't... I have the hover boots? Oh, does that change anything? No, it doesn't. Still, it's useful to know. The iron boots would be... Hang on. I don't have the hover boots. Because I can't equip them, but they're... I don't know what that means. Anyway. I just had an ocarina. Okay, I think what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to save and quit and reset. Because I'm just trapped. So let's reset and I will start this again in a minute. Okay, we have reset. I think it's probably the first time I've reset. Normally I just load straight back in, so I suppose we'll start the Temple of Time. Yeah. I am running fresh out of ideas, I really am. There's the fishing, I suppose. Oh, I could do the fishing as a child. I suppose I could go do the archery game, couldn't I? It's probably the sensible thing to do. It's my sensible thing to do. When I was having lunch yesterday with my friend, there was a wedding going on, because the place I was eating was opposite our local registry office. It's all very sweet and stuff. I mean, I don't really do weddings. I feel, I don't know. I think they can be really nice, and personally, for me, my ideal wedding would be on a beach somewhere warm with 4 or 5 guests. I think that's my personal choice. I don't like big weddings. I don't like all the extended family and the friends and stuff. I don't think you need it. I think it should be about just you and the other person, and obviously, you know, people who maybe support you. That would be my dream wedding. Obviously, it's very expensive. It's a very expensive way to get married, and I always feel like there's probably better things to spend the money on. Like going on holiday, for example. I do like to go on holidays. I do like to go abroad. Let's see the other one. You don't know where they're going to come from, which makes me nervous. Darn. They're in. Okay, I didn't have to get the free try, it's all good. Ooh. Okay. Lovely. Hey! Second try. Oh. This is just getting sad. It really is. There must be a good item hidden somewhere behind something, and I'm just missing it. I mean, if I had an ocarina or the sword for Child Link, it could be a whole different ballgame. I think the next thing we have to try is the fishing, because the fishing normally yields a piece of heart, but as we know, it could be anything, so I can't go to Zora's domain. I can't get this. Well, if the scales are, I can't do the scale game because I haven't got an ocarina. I think let's go fish. Something I've never done in real life. Something I have very little interest in doing in real life. Seems a bit cruel to me. It's not so bad if you're doing it to eat them, I suppose. That makes, you know, and you do it humanely and stuff. That's one thing. But I don't like when people catch fish and throw them back. It's like you're putting something through a lot of fear and terror for, I don't know, what is supposed to be a relaxing time for you. Yeah, I mean, I know it's... yeah. Don't know, you're just, yeah, like I say, you're thinking, oh, I'm going to have a nice relaxing time fishing, but that poor fish, suffocating. It'd be like someone going, oh, I'm going to go relax myself by holding my head underwater. Not for me. Anyway, holidays. I do like to go on holidays. I've been lucky enough to do my fair share of travelling. I've been to Japan and Mexico and California and Egypt and Greece and Italy, to name a few. Some amazing experiences, some not so amazing experiences. I thought that, for example, the trip I made to Mexico, because I was in California and you can just sort of cross the border. That was an experience. It was unfortunately an area that was very poor, I suppose would be the word. That it was, yeah, and you feel sorry for these people, and you can't walk down the street without them trying to sell you something. Now, that was for me. That was one of the more unpleasant experiences. Not because the place was unpleasant, but you just feel so sorry for these people, and you can't help any of them. But they're so poverty-stricken. Iceland, I went to Iceland and that was absolutely stunning. I've been to Iceland 3 times. One time I went on my birthday. Now my birthday's in the summer and they have the midnight sun, and that was a very cool experience. I was standing out on my birthday at midnight as it turned to my birthday, and it was glorious blue sky and sunshine above me, and that was a very surreal experience. We went in the winter to try and see the Northern Lights, but we didn't get to see them because it was too cloudy. You need a clear night, and we tried. I think it was there 3 or 4 nights, but it just wasn't happening. I think you're better off going in the spring. We went in January, and I've said never again. I've said I'll never go back in the winter again because I don't like the cold, and I find it very hard to enjoy myself when I'm cold. Personally. I saw an extinct volcano that was frozen over, and it was beautiful and it was magical, but I was just sort of standing there going, this is beautiful and magical, but I wish I was warm. Don't get me wrong, Iceland's not warm in the summer either, but it's more bearable. I mean, one day I was in like a t-shirt and jeans, and another day you're in a long sleeve t-shirt. It's sort of 15, 16 degrees, so it's a bit more manageable. But yeah, I don't enjoy being cold. Having said that, when I went to Egypt, kind of had the reverse. We went in March, and it was still grazing mid-30s, and it takes me a while to acclimatise to that. All right, £6. We can beat that. No. Can I not fish because I haven't got the sword yet? Because the B button is doing nothing. And because I haven't got anything equipped, I can't use the fishing rod because it replaces the sword. Oy, gewalt. That is not good. Alright, fine. There's 20 rubies. I'm not going to get back in. Time to have a rethink. I am still Child Link. Lon Lon Ranch is out because Malon is still waiting at the castle for Talon, who is still asleep because I haven't got the chicken. The Hylian research lab place is of no use to me, I don't think. Ooh, dramatic. No. Okay, I'm going to take the owl shortcut out. Ah, yes, 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 the magic beans. Let's do the magic beans. Go on then. So Egypt was very, very warm, but it was a real bucket list holiday for me. We did it because it was very expensive. It was an expensive trip to do. We had to cram it all in, and I wanted to see things. Obviously, of course, you don't go all that way and miss out on stuff. So we stayed in Sharm el Sheikh because that was the cheapest place to fly to and stay to. And then we got an internal, like a tour from Sharm el Sheikh, where they included internal flights, and we went to Luxor. I think Luxor was first. Was Cairo first? We did Luxor and Cairo across 2 days. So we literally landed in Sharm el Sheikh on the Monday evening, and then like at 6, 7 in the evening, and then 3 o'clock the next morning we were picked up from our hotel to go to either Luxor or Cairo. I can't remember which way round we did it now, and then got back from that in the evening, and then the next day again we were picked up at 2 o'clock in the morning or something silly, and went to again Luxor or Cairo. I really can't remember which way round we did it now. I think it was Luxor then Cairo. Absolutely just phenomenal experience. Got to see the Valley of the Kings, got to see the pyramids, museums. It sounds stupid, I feel stupid saying it, but it was such a moment for me. I remember I was walking through and you end up on all this sand. It's all very touristy at first, and you go across onto this sand and the pyramids just in front of you, and I just sort of started crying because I was just so overwhelmed with the fact that I'd finally made it. I was finally there. It's something I'd wanted to do since I was about 3 or 4. I've always been fascinated by history, and Egyptian history particularly struck a chord with me. I think it does with a lot of people. I think it's because they seem so magical. They seem so, you know, mysterious, and yeah. So that was a really good holiday, but absolutely exhausting. I came back from that feeling like I hadn't been on a holiday because we flew back from Cairo in the evening, got back to a hotel in Sharm el Sheikh, and I think our flight was the following afternoon. So I had 2-3 hours in Sharm el Sheikh to have some lunch and sleep in briefly. Not that I would change any of that, but had I had more money and resources and time, it would have been nice to have had maybe a day round the pool to recover. So I felt like I'd had some holiday, but yeah. But yeah, the pyramids were absolutely amazing. Oh, and we got to go to this temple in Luxor. Again, that was very cool. That was so much history, so much. That's one down. Where's the other ones? Think. There's one there, one in Lake Hylia. The one in the Korok Forest, or the Lost Woods, or whatever you call it, is pretty pointless. There's one there. Lake Hylia. Dodongo's Cavern. See, this is why I like these randomizers, because they really test your knowledge. They're really, you know, you played this game so many times, and suddenly you have to think outside the box where things are, and remember the order you do things. And a lot of times good items are hidden behind ancillary quest items, the stuff that you would only do if you were trying to 100% it. Or, I mean, speaking of which, I've only got one gold sculpture. Is it not? Oh. Oh. Yes, it's behind there, isn't it? That's getting a bit close for my liking. Athens was another place because the Greek history, again, I really was really interested in as a child, and kind of steeped myself in it. So go to Athens and the Parthenon. Parthenon, am I saying that right? Pantheon. Oh god, I've been there twice and I can't remember what it is now. Anyway, very, very pretty. Very. Didn't do any tours. On that one, I kind of. The tour I did in Cairo was very rush, and I understand it. They've tried to show everything. We went to the Cairo Museum, and there were rooms I'd have rather have spent longer in, if you see what I mean, than the ones they wanted you to spend time in. That we went through this whole thing of the Ramesses II, which was interesting, but then I didn't get to spend any time in the mummified pet room, which sounds morbid, but I found that fascinating because they, you know, how much they really love their animals. I mean, there was even some mummified fish, and it turned out they'd kept some fish, and yeah, very, very interesting to me, but you had to kind of skip through that. A lot about music, and I remember at the time, wondering, you know, we have sheet music to record our music. I wonder how. I still don't know the answer. How did they log their music notation? How did they write down their compositions? Because they didn't use sheet music. I did learn when I did my musical theory who invented sheet music and the first musical notation. I can't remember it now, but it certainly wasn't the ancient Egyptians. And I don't know, because they had a lot of songs that they would play and sing. Sorry, I could talk about history for ages, history and travel, because to me the two things are sort of interlinked. I like, when I go to a place, I like to visit any ruins, temples, anything that helps me understand the society that I'm visiting. We went to, like when we was in Tokyo one morning, I went out on my own, and I was just having a little wander around. I was looking for something in a shop, and I came across this little shrine in the heart of Tokyo, and I sat there for just maybe 5 minutes, and 3 or 4 people came along and they paid their respects and rang the bell. I mean, we're talking in between skyscrapers. This was in between skyscrapers, this tiny little shrine. and Shrine Belt, and yeah, see, that's what I like. I like to be able to experience those things. And you know, obviously there's the other side of it. We went up Tokyo Tower, went to the Pokemon Center, and I mean, I'm glad I was sensible. I'm glad I didn't take my credit card with me, because that could have been pricey. Went to a hot spring on Hako, this little mountain hot spring. Interestingly, I didn't know this at the time. I had no tattoos. This was just before I got my first tattoo. In fact, I think maybe a couple of months before I got my first tattoo, which is the Team Rocket R on my back, on my lower back. It's just that one. And at the time, I was like, oh, I'm just going to get one, and now I have not 12, I think, 12 or 13. But what I didn't realise was apparently in Japan, because you have to go into the hot springs naked, tattoos, there's some places would prefer you not to go in and use the hot spring if you have tattoos, which I could be interesting for my next visit. I don't know how true that is. It was saying in a guidebook I read. I don't know if it's actually enforced anywhere. I do remember thinking when I was out there, I didn't see a lot of tattoos or tattoo parlours, so maybe it is unusual. It was a very nice hot spring. It was very it was a nice hot spring, but it was kind of built up. It's like the Blue Lagoon that's in Reykjavik. I went to that, and it was very commercial. I felt it was very commercial. The water did not feel, not that it wasn't clean. It just didn't feel pleasant. It was chalky, and they had these things, these stands in the middle of the water where you'd get this moisturizer and slap it all over yourself, and I think a lot of that had bled into the water, making it very cloudy and very, my skin felt horrible after going to the Blue Lagoon. And then on our next trip we went to this the Secret Lagoon on this tour, which was it was quite literally, there was like a ticket booth type hut with a changing room, and then you were wading into just a natural hot spring that was on the side of this mountain. Such a difference. My skin felt fine afterwards. I felt much better afterwards, and it was, I mean, we were lucky. The weather was gorgeous. It was a sunny day. And it was, I've got a really nice picture from that day, actually. A really, really nice picture. Only with a phone camera as well. I did well. This episode has all been about travel. So you get me started on travel, I could talk about it for ages. Now, if one of these three beans, which is what we're going to end the episode on, is for these three beans, because I think we're going to be running over if I'm not careful. Possibly already are. If these three beans don't yield anything, then I'm going to have to take a good, long, hard think about my knowledge of Legend of Zelda and where I can go next, because I'm going to be drawing blanks. Possibly go down the Gold Skulltula route and see what we can get with that. Places I'd like to go, places I haven't been yet. I'd like to go to Nepal or Tibet. I'd really like to do that. I would really like to go to Easter Island. That's a very expensive one because it's like 4 planes, I think. Because I'd have to fly from London to possibly Argentina, I think it said, and then I take another internal flight. From Argentina to somewhere else in South America. I can't remember what it was now. Anyway, and then you have to take another flight, seaplane to an island just to get there. So that won't be very expensive. But I would love to see it. I would love to see the Easter Island heads. Ooh, didn't time that well. Right, what's this? Well, that makes up for the one that I just spent, doesn't it? I suppose. It's fine. It's fine, I'm not upset. I've never been to Australia. I would like to go to Australia. For me, it's possibly the flight. I don't know if I could do it all in one haul. Having said that, I do hate layovers. When we went to Japan on the way back, we had to do like a 4-hour layover in Hong Kong, which is fine. It's fine, but I was coming down with a cold and I felt a bit rough. And yeah, mind you, the money in Hong Kong is crazy because it's pounds or dollars. It's similar to perfect. Okay, yes. That's good. That is very good. That opens up some more avenues. What was I saying? Oh yeah, monetary system. I went to McDonald's because I was really hungry, and it was £23 for a cheeseburger. And I was so confused. I was like, how does this work? And I was paying in yen because that's all I had was Japanese yen on me, so they had to convert it. I just handed the money to the assistant. I don't know if I was ripped off. I'm sure I wasn't, but I had no idea because I had spent the entire holiday converting everything from pounds to yen and back again. I think it was 8,000 yen was a tenner. It's £10. So yeah. So this, and then when this cheeseburger was £23, but it wasn't. It was like 1,000 yen or 2,000 yen. I was so confused. Being ill and tired didn't help. But yeah, that's what kind of stops me going to Australia. I'd like to do New Zealand as well. Possibly I'd prefer to do New Zealand to Australia actually, because I think New Zealand has more of the natural. Or certainly, I'm sure Australia is very beautiful, but the pictures I've seen, New Zealand looks really, really pretty, and possibly the more natural mountainous landscapes that I like. Maybe I'll combine it, because I'd like to do India. Maybe I'll do a trip where I fly to India and spend a few days in India, recover from that flight, then fly on to Australia. That sounds like a good plan to me. Hong Kong dollar? Hong Kong dollars? That sound right? I'm now wondering. Anyway. So now that I have the silver scale, I can get the bottle, or what would normally be the bottle, as Child Link. It's not the golden scale, which is the best, I think. Ah, now I can fish as that. That's the next episode. We're going to do fishing as adult Link. Missed my opportunity. Oh, that was annoying. That was really annoying. Okay, last item of this episode, but we have got something useful now. It gives me a chance to think for the next episode what we're going to do. Now, if that had just been an ocarina, we could have really done. We could have really done something. Okay, well, thank you very much for listening to me talk about travel mostly. I hope you've enjoyed it. Do remember that if you are enjoying it, to comment below and also talk about maybe things I could talk about, because I could talk forever, but I will run out of topics eventually. And the next episode, I think we shall go do some fishing, because I think that will probably give us something good. There's always something good in the fishing, because I hate the fishing. And yeah, or it'll be 5 blue rupees. Who knows? Anyway, I'll see you on the next episode, and thanks for listening.